So also a couple of other enhancements that are probably less significant enhancements, but really important to the overall maintenance of the TransTasman Angus Cattle Evaluation. So the first one is some maintenance of the genomic pipeline. So really that just refers to the pipeline in which genomic information feeds into the TransTasman Angus Cattle Evaluation and is used in the calculation of those EPDs. And there's three components to the maintenance of those. The first is that the reference haplotype library has been re-estimated. And for those that might not be all that familiar with how genotypes are used in the analysis, then the first step that is needed to kind of prepare those genotypes for inclusion in the analysis is a step called imputation. And that's where we take all the genotypes which have been collected on animals using a range of different kind of DNA chips and convert that into a standard genotype which can then be used for the calculation of breeding values. And that imputation process, or that conversion process if you like, uses and relies on a reference haplotype library, and that has just been re-estimated or updated based on all the genotypes which have been submitted over the last 12 months. The next update to the maintenance of the pipeline has just been an incorporation of additional SNPs, or single nucleotide polymorphisms. So it's really just taking account of some of the newer content which might now be available on our latest DNA chips and including that into the genetic evaluation. And lastly, the third component is a re-estimation of all the allele frequencies. So the allele frequencies are used as part of some of the quality assurance checks on the genotypes which are before they are included into the TransTasman analysis. And in particular, the checks that we use to just assess whether an animal is, I suppose, closely enough related to the genomic reference population for the use of that genomic profile in the calculation of their breeding values. So that they've been updated, and we might see some animals which were previously on that borderline as to whether they were closely related or enough. Some of them may now be included, versus some of them may now also fail that QA check and not be as closely related if they're sitting right on the borderline. So all those three changes, the maintenance of that genomic pipeline, they don't result in any really significant changes to the EBVs or the EBV accuracy values which are published. But nonetheless, they're still a very important part of maintaining this genetic evaluation to ensure we're producing the best possible breeding values. The other smaller change is just some changes to the importation of the overseas EPDs, or estimated progeny differences. So we import EPDs into the TransTasman Angus Cattle Evaluation for animals in North America, and that's particularly important where we get imported animals coming in which might have a lot of information available in North America but have very little information in Australia. So we import that EPD just as to provide some extra accuracy to those breeding values until such time as those imported genetics actually have been performance recorded and we have some information available in Australia and New Zealand. So the changes that we'll see this year is the EPDs are updated quarterly, but in December this year, all the EPDs for animals which have been recorded with the American Angus Association and Canadian Angus Association will be updated as part of that routine kind of refreshing of those EPD information. One of the changes we'll see though, however, is the EPDs will no longer be updated for animals which are recorded with the American Red Angus Association. There's only a very small number of those which come in, but we're just not all that confident that we continue to bring those EPDs in and make sure that we're utilising those as appropriately as we should in the calculation of the breeding values. So the decision has been to stop doing that as of December this year.